Thank you, Chairman Capito. It's great to be here with several Ohioans today, and I appreciate you holding the hearing on the Great Lakes. It means a lot to the residents of the Great Lakes states and certainly to Ohio and to me personally. Thank you to the witnesses for being here. I look forward to the discussion about how Congress can continue to protect the Great Lakes and talk about how a successful public partnership with the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative can be undertaken. As a member of the Great Lakes Task Force, as well as the only member of this committee that represents a Great Lakes state, I take representing the region very seriously, and promoting good policy and programs are an important part of that. When I was lieutenant governor of the state of Ohio, I worked with our governor, Governor DeWine, and Director Mary Mertz, who's here today, to protect Lake Erie. We even participated in the Fish Ohio Day together, which I think I won a couple of years. I don't know, just saying. I want to thank Director Mertz for being here and for her leadership at the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Director Mertz previously chaired the Great Lakes Commission, a binational body that coordinated restoration policy, making her an expert on the Great Lakes and what restoration implementation actually means. I also would like to thank Dr. Winslow for testifying today. Dr. Winslow directs the Ohio Sea Grant and Stone Laboratory at The Ohio State University, which has been studying the lake for over 150 years. I also know that the rocky areas around it are a good place to go smallmouth bass fishing. So those are some personal reflections. His research on Lake Erie and Aquatic Research Network, LEARN, has a direct connection to GLRI, and I know Dr. Winslow will be able to speak about what's successful and effective about the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, and the work that we can continue to do to improve the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are an environmental and economic asset for the United States and Canada. The lakes fuel a $6 trillion regional economy and hold 90% of the U.S. supply of surface fresh water, and provide drinking water to more than 40 million people. More than 1.5 million U.S. jobs are directly connected to the Great Lakes, and those jobs generate $62 billion in wages annually. I've said this before, it's no secret that Lake Erie is one of my favorite places to fish and spend time. And Ohio has some of the best walleye fishing in the world. I think we call ourselves the walleye capital of the world there in Port Clinton. And I also led the Great Lakes Fishery Reauthorization Act, which was signed into law by President Trump in December of last year. Thank you, Chairman, and all the members for supporting that. Healthy fisheries mean healthy ecosystems, and healthy ecosystems mean healthy economies. I firmly believe that. The Great Lakes fishing industry supports tens of thousands of jobs and contributes billions of dollars to our regional economy. We must stay vigilant against invasive species. I'll reiterate that. We must stay vigilant against invasive species which pose a constant and serious threat to the Great Lakes ecosystem. We've had those threats before. We've effectively responded to it, but we must remain ever vigilant. Harmful algae blooms are also a threat to drinking water and tourism and the local economies that rely on a healthy Great Lakes. So many communities depend on it. And I mentioned the invasive species threat and the drinking water threat. Two things that we collectively can do something about. It's why the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative is important, and it's why it should be, I will continue to fight for its reauthorization, and it remains an important federal commitment to the Great Lakes, the water, the communities, the states, and our quality of life. So thank you very much for being here today. And I want to introduce two witnesses, if I could. First of all, Mary Mertz, Director of the Department of Natural Resources in the state of Ohio, ODNR. Mary was the first Assistant Attorney General under Attorney General Mike DeWine, where she oversaw both the legal and administrative operations of the office. She has extensive legal experience in both private and public sectors prior to her appointment at the Attorney General's office. Director Mertz practiced law at a large multinational law firm. Director Mertz also served as the Chief of Staff to Mike DeWine when he was Lieutenant Governor, and as a Legislative Director for Congressman Bob McEwen in the Office of Legislative Affairs in the White House as well, and worked with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources while working under then-Governor George Voinovich. Director Mertz is an avid sailor, an outdoors person, and has great knowledge of the topic that we're here to discuss today. Thank you, Director Mertz. And I will also, while I have a moment, I'll introduce Christopher Winslow, PhD Director of the Ohio Sea Grant Program, Ohio State University, and he coordinates the Ohio Sea Grant Great Lakes Research initiatives with agencies and universities, as well as assists in research, curriculum development, and student recruitment at the Ohio State University Stone Laboratory. He earned his doctorate at Bowling Green State University with research focusing on interaction between native smallmouth bass and invasive round goby, both of which, one I enjoy catching, the other I enjoy getting rid of when they take my bait when they shouldn't do that. So one's invasive, one's a trophy, right? So thank you for both being here today.